Hello, John. How you
Hey,
doing?
Greg. Hey, Greg, how are you?
Good, good. Hey, last time I saw you was at the rally on the 16th. Wonderful turnout, 900 plus, fire marshal shows. You had to been quite pleased with the support that these members have shown you.
Oh, absolutely. That place was packed. I talked to somebody who spoke with the facility coordinator for there, and they said that was the largest crowd that they'd ever had there. So, for that many people to show up on Saturday night when Tennessee's playing in Georgia, it was a great turnout, and I know it really was appreciated by our committee and all the people that are working with us. So it was just outstanding all the way around.
Well, fantastic. So we talked 45 minutes before on Unscripted episode one. So this will obviously be much shorter because we just want to get an update of what occurred at the table in Philly. And it looks like the motto, the city of brotherly love, may not have played out in total. Maybe you had to do your best Rocky impression at the negotiating sessions. So if you could just give us a quick rundown. I know the negotiation update is out and been emailed, but maybe you could fill in a little bit with some of the background and what it was like at the table.
Right, I'd be happy to. We flew to Philly on Monday and started on Tuesday, and there were some good. Some sections are easier than others, and there was some progress made. Like we arrived at a TA in Section 7 on vacation with regards to the sellback. It's Saturday afternoon on the 23rd. I haven't briefed the MEC yet. We're doing that Monday morning. So, you know, I would just say about this, especially since you and I are getting our footing on this series, when we get to a section that's TA'd, I'm not going to probably express any values because I got to go brief the MEC. And, you know, the a tentative agreement is a comprehensive bargaining solution. So even with the MEC, we tell them what's order in the sections, but there's no line item veto. And so the danger would be if I told you, well, we achieved X or we achieved Y in this section, then they would probably start hearing from people within their blocks that they represent whose pet issues were X or Y, and they're unhappy about that. You have to stop and look at the whole package as a total compensation package, that how it affects our working and personal lives. And so I'll be glad to talk about, in general where we ended up, but the more specific values will go to the MEC, and then they'll be out to the membership before they have an opportunity to evaluate, and before the MEC deliberates on it this time, because they learned some hard lessons on the previous TA. So we ended up at a great place, I think, actually, in vacation that recognizes the needs of both parties, and it gives ALPA a say in the process. So I'm very happy about 7. The company owed us a Section 26, which is the general catch-all section. And in that, we've got commuting provisions that we're trying to enhance because obviously our members are having a challenging experience getting to and from work, and trying to bring things more in line with what other airline pilots have. And there's also some flight safety issues in there that have to do with what constitutes flight data and what's not flight data. I don't want to get in the weeds on that. We don't think we're very far apart on either of those things, and I would imagine 26 could get put to bed in the near future. 8 is deadheading and deviations. We've had a lot of passes on that. We're seeking a new construct, like I talked about, or we talked about in the update, that basically allows the pilots to hold on to their money for a longer period of time and to have it in a reserve in case they need to supplement it if they've got a shortfall. We're almost there. The company's not all the way there with us yet. We hopefully will get there soon. So that was the 3 easier ones. The company gave us a response, and from Chicago, we gave them our work rules. Work rules are sections 4, which are, the minimum pay and other guarantees, hours of service, and scheduling. And we put a lot of thought into before we did our work rules proposal, because there's certainly quality of life components in there, like reserves. We have our reserve policies are much different than what are at the other carriers. Um, we have got a huge issue going on right now with revisions and extensions. Of course, the elephant in the room is 4A2B and C, and actually it's not that much of an elephant in the room anymore. We're talking about it because it's a real problem. And, we introduced concepts like holiday pay and long unaugmented duty, but by and large, they weren't interested in it. I mean, here's the paper right here. I was looking at it and I was joking with our guys after we got it. I mean, there's more red on here than Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. It looks like the first time I got my outline back from my 11th grade English teacher for my term theme. I mean, there's a lot of red on this thing. I don't know if you see it, a lot of red there, wholesale, some red there, back page, all red, right? They're not interested.
Right.
Eventually, they're going to be interested because we're going to deal with those issues. We're not going to let that phase us. Was it disrespectful? Probably a little bit. Are we upset? No, it just comes with the process, and we're just going to be resolute and keep on going. I mean, I'll say right here, like we talked about in the update, they're not over the divorce yet. And what I mean by that is they are still really unhappy that the TA got turned down. And every time when they give us a proposal, I have to hear the preamble about how it was the greatest thing ever since the Magna Carta, and I just zone out. It's like listening to the flight attendant pre-departure briefing, and it's a combination of that. And I go to my happy place, and it's like Bill Murray and Groundhog Day. Wakes up to the alarm every day with Sonny and Cher's. I got you, babe. Just boom. Okay, there's 30 seconds of our lives we're not going to get back. We understand how you feel about the TA, but the TA is gone. It's assumed room temperature. It's over. We're going forward. We've gone through the grief process, I think, better on our side. Yeah, not perfectly. We still have pockets of people who aren't happy with where we are, and I understand that. But by and large, we let the democratic process run. We've gone through all the anger, the denial, the negotiating, the bargaining with yourself to the acceptance. We are where we are. I don't think you could say that about the other side. And, they'll eventually get there. I think, but it is where we are. And we're going to move forward. And, and I think, and I don't know why, that maybe you'd hear all these rumors, and maybe this is what was upsold on the other side. Oh yeah, we're just going to tweak this, we're going to tweak that, the pilots will be good to go. Well, that's not the case. We're going to come to a deal that does the best for the most amount of our guys and girls, and be in hopefully a minimal amount of time. I'm not sure how long this is going to take, but we're going to get there. It's it can be frustrating. You can't let that get you down. You just got to keep going, and that's what we're going to do.
All right, fantastic. I know you guys put in some long hours. I heard 10 o'clock in the evening. In some cases, much different than your previous negotiating sessions. Is that true?
It is. Yeah, we were there 3 days, and I got outside the hotel one night. We put in a lot of long because we're trying to we understand that our time with the NMB and the mediator is very limited, and so there's no sense in going for 3-hour lunches or whatever. We are trying to do the rest. We order in lunch and we work right through in our breakout room trying to figure out how to get going on to the next thing. I mean, that night that you're talking about, that was on the day that we received 412 and 25, and the difficult subject is 4A, 2B, and C. It just is. The SAM does not work for us. Now, we're going to try to find a metric, and we've got some data. We've requested some more data to employ ALPA's ENFA department, the Economic and Financial Analysis Department. Their manager's with us at the bargaining table every day, and he is outstanding. And he's got so much knowledge. He's been at the table with United, Delta, all the carriers. He knows what is going on. And he is trying to help us find a metric that makes sense other than the SAM. So maybe there's a way that we can find another metric to use, and we'd have an alternative path to get there, as opposed to just having to completely remove 4A2B and C from the contract. Now, I don't know what the thought process is over on the other side. You could maybe make a case, and I'm not saying that's what they're doing, that, we talked about it last time. The previous negotiating committee got frustrated and they sought mediation. Now, in this case, if they're really good at being like the Dean Smith's Four Corners offense, they're trying to run out the clock because they think the SAM value is drifting southward, and that eventually they're going to have us into 4A2C, and then they think they have us over a barrel, and that we're going to capitulate and sign any deal. They're sadly mistaken, and hopefully that's not what they're doing, but that is going to really backfire on them. You can just tell by the temperature of the crew force right now that that's not going to be a winning strategy for them. The pilots would not appreciate that. And when you talk about reducing line values on a company that's still, they might have some internal economic headwinds, but as a whole, there's nothing wrong with Federal Express right now. That would not be well received, and we're going to represent the pilots appropriately at the table.
All right, John, thank you. Hey, on that note, I think MEC meeting on Monday.
Right.
And then I'd like to wish you just personally a happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Thanks, Greg. You too.
Yeah. All right. So until next time, John, thanks again for all your hard work. Appreciate it.
Hey, our committee's happy to do it, and we hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving, and we'll be talking with you soon. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, John.
You bet.